So removing race, I think, does more harm than good. It will end up removing culture in general and history and just thousands of good shit that the humanity has evolved.
We can't just live based on races. We have to kind of analyze as a human race and start moving forward and seeing us all as a whole instead of just looking at those minorities.
We agree. Like, it would be nice, like, for someone to have like a completely different, like, line of thought. Like, not necessarily, oh yeah, black people suck.
That's kind of what we try to do as well. Like, that's why constantly looking for people who are different to us, who think different to us, who have different life experiences, because otherwise it's just boring. Like, you need to learn from people and hear from people and be able to empathize, learn, and compare different realities as well, because everybody goes through different things. That's the truth. So, like, no matter what group, it's just like... Welcome back to the Creekcast, everybody. Yep, it's up. It's just us two now. No special guest.
No guests for now.
And we're going to be trying something a little different. We're going to be debating today, so it's not just an echo chamber and just a boring conversation that puts you all down. So we're going to try to debate, fire it up a little, maybe make you angry at some of us. So yeah, let's see how it goes. If you'd like to introduce what we're going to be debating about.
Yeah, sure. Well, today's debate is not a light one. It's a pretty fired up debate. So we're going to talk about the topic of racism, but not only that, because I think we can agree that racism isn't cool. It isn't a debate, but we're going to focus more on whether removing race would fix racism, or would it be better for society in general?
Yeah. And this idea came from our previous guest, Vicky Sue, who voted on our Instagram. Check it out, _crickets. It's quality content. So, yeah, we're gonna take an ad break first, so we just go straight into the debate and there's no interruptions. So yeah, see you back soon. Welcome back from that ad break. So now we're gonna get started with the debate. Starting off with my point, which is gonna be in favor of taking the context of race out of racism so it could help society and help us progress, all right? So we didn't really do much of research. This is really just like opinions and us literally talking as if we were just two people on the street. So yeah, how to start this off. Okay, so racism, it's a very, very broad term. And when we think of racism, we all see, like, going into specific race, and we determine it as going against a specific race, like just minorities specifically, and inequality towards them, basically, and hate towards them. So we have to kind of reassess that, I think, and think of the possibility of taking race out of the mixture and looking at racism more as a human problem, a human race problem, instead of just individual races, because we can't just live based on races. We have to kind of analyze as a human race and start moving forward and seeing us all as a whole instead of just looking at those minorities. So that's kind of my point. Yeah, what's your stance?
Well, first off, I would say that the racism thing isn't that broad. I think it's really specific. It's just the discrimination towards a race. Not doesn't matter anything else. Just the fact that you're discriminating, and that's a pretty hard term. I think people would give me flack for saying this, but that's it. There's no new definition. There's no change. Everyone knows that it's just discriminating another race. It doesn't have to do with anything else. So that's the first thing. But moving on to my main points are that, well, first, race gives us identity to start off. It's not just a thing that you are discriminated against or for. It's part of your identity, whether you like it or not. Like a person of color will not be treated the same as a more white person, not necessarily because of racism, because you're not being discriminated against, but there's certain cultural values behind that I simply think that need to be respected. Simply removing race from the equation, let's just say that we all became gray blobs, it really removes just the general idea of individualism, which is very important to human race, even though, in my opinion, individualism as a whole is just a myth. It's a human construct. It's not a thing. We're all the same. We don't matter. But it's like race. It's very enveloped into our own system and person and just general vibe. So removing that would be removing an essential instrument of humanity that is trying to think that we're special or individual. So by being in these sections of race, it may seem harsh at first because, oh wow, we should all unite. Like, yeah, I agree that at the end of the day, we're all humans, we're all the human race, but just glossing over the fact that we're all different in some ways, it just makes more harm than good. So yeah, those are my takes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, kind of to not necessarily go one by one on your points, but I think that racism, sometimes when we look at it and when we look at the big issue at hand here and we want to fix it, we want to improve the situation for what is minorities and the injustices that they live on a day-to-day through racism, I think what we have to look at as well is how, when we look at it by races and movements, especially from specific groups and minorities, it ends up hindering them. I think that it ends up hindering them, the fact that it is specified towards a certain group. So when we look at Black Lives Matter, for example, it's such a, like, it was massive protests, basically day in, day out through the week, and yet it still seemed to, not my eye, but many people's eyes, very controversial, and it seemed very unethical, I guess, which is weird, considering the situation where it came from.
No, I mean, I get it. I know it's not the topic, but I get why some people might get it to be just not offensive, but amoral. I don't think it's behind the whole ideology of Black Lives Matter, because that's a pretty dumb thing to argue against. But I think it was the looting and stuff that was in the sidelines of the whole movement. Some would argue that was the cornerstone of the whole movement. Dropping some hot takes here. Maybe we could get Ivan here, because I know he's really passionate about this topic. So yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, you actually made me want to add to that.
Great.
Because, yeah, I think one of those points, like the looting it and stuff, for example, which kind of took the big stage of Black Lives Matter. And I think essentially it kind of, well, it's complicated because it kind of took away from it, but it also added to it, because it was like, we've gotten to this point where you don't hear any of our other protests and we have to go to this extreme. but at the same point, it hindered the protests because it made it look like it was just. It made it look like it was all kind of for own benefit of looting and grabbing all these objects. But yeah, returning to the old point, I think that when people, on general, and we look at like the whole concept, and people talk about Black Lives Matter, a lot of the time we will find that it's kind of placed in these groups that aren't seen as positive. Maybe our community, especially, and a lot of left-sided media will be like, yes, this is great and whatnot, but it also gives right-side media and right-side people the ability to hinder Black Lives Matter because it's so focused on race. So I think maybe if it was focused on racism, not Black Lives Matter, it might be able to kind of debilitate any arguments from the other side.
Yeah, I think it's all in the name, actually. This argument has been talked to death, but just to bring it up here, is that there is a theory going on, well, not a theory, but more of a talking point, that if the whole movement, instead of being called Black Lives Matter, it would be called Black Lives Matter 2. That would have changed the whole stigma around it. Because as many listeners know, there's a counter movement, a protest to the protest with the White Lives Matter, because there are stupid people like that. Yeah, I know, it's amazing, mind-boggling, but yeah, the whole thing. But I still think firmly, not just to be devil's advocate, I think that these are my true feelings on the topic, that race doesn't only give us individualism, but it also gives us culture. So by removing that, you remove history and just culture in general, because we're different. Like if you put like an Indian guy and a ginger kid together, you're like, okay, what the hell's going on here? Because they're the same species, but they're so drastically different. And if you ask about each other's cultures, they will be nothing alike. And some people will tend to see the bad in that and be a talking point to be like racist. Like, oh, you see, they're inferior. They don't have this and we do. It's like the whole thing falls apart. But I think many people, including me, see that as just a testament to human ingenuity. Just how we could grow in many different places and take our own different cultures and adapt to our environment. So now that we're in a more globalized world, it's more complicated than that. It's not just, oh, we have different needs, because basically most people have the more or less the same needs now, just depending on the economic scale that you're in. So it's just I'm not for removing race in general. Like if we had a button to hit and be like, yeah, race is no more, we're all great loves, or yeah, we're all the same, I would say it definitely would fix issues. But I think that at the end of the day we will find something else to focus on. Like racists will always be stupid, so it doesn't matter if you give them race, they will find another thing to be upset about. No matter the differences, even if we were like exactly alike, we're like, oh, I'm grayer than you are, even if they aren't. Just try to find the thing to be more upset about. So yeah.
I mean, I think I do agree to a certain extent, and I think that's something that we have to highlight during this kind of debate, that it's not necessarily going to be just like either I win or you win. Like we have to kind of find a mid ground in areas, because the world is gray. It's not just black and white. So I think what you kind of mentioned there is actually true. Like we can't take race away from necessarily society, and a cultural standpoint and a historical standpoint, like race kind of is important. I mean, it kind of, when somebody from the black community, maybe, like I'm just kind of putting an example, or from the Asian community, from any sort of ethnic community, um, they have history and they have a culture, and it's embedded in them as well as everybody. It's embedded in all of us, our past and our culture and our race to a certain extent. So I think to that level and a cultural extent, it shouldn't be eliminated. But I think it's more kind of deconstructing how we look at racism. Like when we're having the conversation of racism, make it about human race and not races, because we have to, as you said, like try to avoid taking away from the cultural and historical aspect, which I completely agree with. But I think that if it's strictly like handled to racism, I mean, it's easier to kind of dissect it and take it apart, and it'll give the good old fashioned racists less of a strategy when they're going for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm like, what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, everyone will find something to discriminate another person with. I'm not saying that all people discriminate each other just for the sake of it, because I know there are some people that genuinely believe that if you're born white, you're automatically racist. And I'm saying here right now, you're dumb if you think that. It's a shit take. Right from the get. If you disagree, you can come here in the podcast, defend your ideas.
Yes, and we will have a great conversation about it.
Greatly respectful conversation and friendly.
Kind of passive aggressive.
But in the meantime, I can safely agree. Your idea is fucking stupid, dude. Stop. So that's it comes with that. People will always find a thing to be upset about, no matter what. Whether they're exactly the same. Most of this, I'm just realizing, I'm taking from a fairly Odd Parents episode. Where, okay, just for context, because I know it sounds weird, but it's exactly what we were talking about.
This is the research from the...
Yeah, this is the research. And fairly good parents that I saw like 10 years ago. So I don't remember the specific context, but Timmy just wishes everyone was the exact same. So everyone turns into gray blobs, and no one can identify anyone because no one has any defining features. They're all the same, like down to the anatomy. Like you can just see the personality, and that's it. So there's this group of gray blobs that's always saying, "Oh, we're better," and it seems like, why the hell are you better? It's like, "Oh, we're grayer. We have a grayer. We're grayer blobs." And it's like, that's not true. We're like it's factually not true, like objectively not true, because he wished for everyone to be the same. So they're exactly the same as everyone else, yet they feel superior because they have a need for it. It doesn't matter that they're exactly the same. They want to be superior and they want to discriminate people, so they put themselves in this pedestal of, oh, I'm better. Even if I can't prove it, even if there's nothing going for me in this argument, I just know I'm better. And that's the entire thing that we're talking about here. Just there's people that will always try to feel superior no matter what. So removing race, I think, does more harm than good. It will end up removing culture in general and history and just thousands of good shit that the humanity has evolved, and will instead just keep the main problem at root. Maybe there's some less racist people because they actually genuinely base their racism on facts, I would say.
Yeah.
It would be pretty weird, but yeah, those three racists are gone. The rest are still there because they want to feel superior and have a team to play with. Like, oh yeah, I'm with these guys because everyone
white.
Yeah. White power, hell yeah. We need to get people angry. Make them.
I didn't say that.
Now it's on clip. Future meme, edit that. Maybe not. Maybe do. Maybe not.
That's what's gonna go on your application to.
Oh hell yeah! Just me shout. Yeah, because they will definitely hear this. Whoever is listening to this, holy shit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're gonna try MIT.
Yeah, I forgot my point. Oh no, I get it. Just moving to the point again. That people want to be special, but they also want to be accepted. Those are like counterintuitive thought processes.
Yeah.
Because I want to be like everyone else, but I want to be special. Like especially here in the Western civilization. Even in media, we're like sold this idea of the chosen one, and everyone wants to be Luke Skywalker. No one wants to be a stormtrooper. That's my point.
Yeah,
but
you want to be in a group, but stand out.
Yeah,
because it's like as you say, like Luke Skywalker is part of a group, but he stands out because he's the main figure.
He's the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The chosen one. Well, not exactly.
And some people just like to go against things. So it's just like they like to be the counter argument, the other side, the one that's fighting against them. Because that's what they kind of thrive off.
That, ironically, is a group in and of itself. Anti-culture is also its own culture. And I found that hilarious because people always go against what's popular. I'm guilty of this too. Like... well, not right now. I think I've grown out of it. But, like, let's say on 6th grade, I was just against it. If it was popular, fuck that. I'm more... Me too. Yeah. I'm like, I don't listen to your Katy Perry. I listen to indie groups like Arctic Monkeys, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't listen to Lady Gaga or Bruno Mars. I listen to the Beatles, so I'm super.
Yeah, I'm like super cool and indie.
Like who? Like, come on, man.
What the fuck?
You're below me, bro.
It's just it's the combination of all of this, like trying to feel superior, but belong in a group, but stand out. It's the whole mess of combinations that are inherent to human nature in general. Everyone that I've known in my life, I don't want to generalize whole humanity, but as far as I've met people, everyone has the same thoughts, not the same thoughts about like what I think, but everyone wants to be in a group, but stand out, but be counterculture, but be with culture, and just this whole mess of thoughts are present all over. No matter where you're from. Well, I don't know because this mainly a Western thing. I don't know if it's also an Asian thing because I know the whole culture is different. Like in China or North Korea, you don't want to stand out. Yeah. That's you're just a cog in the machine, dude.
That's one of the things. Like, as you said, like everybody wants to fit in but stand out. Everybody has this kind of tribal instinct. And that might actually be a link with race because when you see somebody that's similar to you, you want to, like, I don't know, you kind of naturally feel like, I feel empathy. Like I could connect with that person.
Yeah, empathy, just like straight out of the bat because it's not difficult. It's not that hard of a reach to see someone who's like exactly like you, well, not exactly, but like similar to you and relate to that person. Like, oh yeah, happens to me too, friends. But when you see someone who's different, they're like, not cool. Like, how dare you? How dare you be different? Like this transcends just like physical form, in culture, in just general appeal. Just
it's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Like if you like, even in like basic high school movies, you can see it. Like you have the jock tribe and the geek tribe. They're like natural
there's always
enemies.
Groups.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, I mean, I think that kind of pinpoints it because you can't Yeah, I mean, I'm going against my point. I think you're actually right. Like you
No,
can't,
it's cool. That's why we're here.
yeah, you can't disintegrate groups. Like those are just in our heads, whether it's conscious or subconscious, or society made us think that way, or it's natural. Like we have tribal instincts and we have tribal feelings. Like we will kind of adjust to a group similar to us, and it's impossible to really take race out of racism, especially at this point in time. Like we've progressed, like we've come so far that I think it would just be impossible. Like maybe if we started from zero, but
Yeah, I mean,
nowadays,
maybe ground zero, we were all the same gray blobs. Maybe it would work that way. But
yeah,
now that
yeah,
we're like evolved these like mental tendencies to go to our own groups, I don't think it's doable. Well,
yeah,
maybe arguing against my point a little, I would say that yeah, removing race not a thing, but maybe uniting humanity as a whole, because that's the one thing we all have in common. We're all humans at the end of the day.
yeah,
Like even if some people don't believe other races are humans, because I know that's a thing. Like I think like to Christianity, black people weren't people.
yeah.
Like
No, they weren't.
they're like, what the fuck is that, dude?
Yeah, like that. No, man.
Yeah, like what? That's not human. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we even saw this like last year, like in history class, that like a black man was like put in a zoo. So, like,
Yeah. And I mean that still exists. Like, uh, it's just it branches out into so many things, but it's kind of still built to the way that, in a way, minorities and talking about the black community, like it doesn't have the same opportunities. It's not like doesn't have as fruitful of chances. It's just kind of hindered back. And I mean, we still see it till this day. Racism is still here, so
yeah,
it's
it's
not
here to
like
stay.
it's just different. It's not like handwritten that black people aren't seen as human, but it's kind of like on the whole grand scheme of things, it's like the world is just like I don't know. It just doesn't really validate them as they should be validated.
Yeah, and I think this is just like a westernized thing, because well, black people aren't the majority here, but if you go to Africa, I'm pretty sure you will change your mind. Actually, a great point is coming to mind when I said Africa. Kevin, if you're listening to this, Nigeria in general, just Nigeria is the perfect example of the conflicts that culture can bestow to people, because they're not necessarily like a different race. It's not like there's like 7 different groups. Like for people who don't know, in Nigeria is the most like cultural variated country in the entire Africa. So and they're not different races. There's not like the ginger faction and the blonde faction. And it's just black people with different cultures and not race than religions that hate their guts. Like they genuinely don't like the other people because they believe something different. And this just like goes to my point that no matter their race, no matter how they look, there's always going to be a thing to pinpoint and go against. So by removing race is not removing the problem. It's, if anything, is just not realizing where the bigger picture is.
Yeah, that also reminds me. Like, I don't remember from where, but there like this genocide that happened in Africa as well, where I think it was the Belgium settlers that were there, and when they basically killed and did their European things in the past, like they told a certain group of the natives that they were more European than the others, and that made a conflict for years, like because they felt that they were better.
Superior, yeah.
And it's like,
Because they wanted to
yeah,
belong
as you
to a
said,
group.
you can't
Whoa.
eliminate race because there's always gonna be something. Like if it's not black and white, it's like I have more eyebrow hairs than you, so I'm better. So
Yeah. I mean, I would say that technically it would removing race will destroy racism if you want to go with technical terms, because there's no race. So there will be no racism. You can't discriminate a race that doesn't exist.
easy.
So yeah, I would say that I would argue that that's the main thing. Like, yeah, of course, if you remove race, there's no racism. Like, yeah, no shit. If you remove homes, there's no homelessness.
Ask Will.
Ask Will. Like, yeah, sure, that's the entire for everyone who doesn't know who Will is, listen to more episodes, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah, come on. How are you here if you haven't listened to Will?
How are we going to develop these local jokes if you don't listen to the episodes, dude? Come on.
Yeah, be part of our community, of our group.
Yeah, 3-person community. Let's go.
So we can be superior to everybody else.
Yeah, so we can stand out to a group and discriminate against others. Come on.
Exactly.
You know you want to.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that kind of closes it up. I think like, as you said, it's just not really attacking the problem, and it might bring to fruition more problems than actually solving problems. Because it's just there. Like, we're always gonna find our like tribal group, and we're just gonna kind of like find things that, well, not everybody, but there's always gonna be a bigger thing that people are gonna find something that they think is better than another group, and they think that they're superior. And I think we all do it on our day to day. Like, I mean, we'll look at some people for certain things, and we might be like, as you said, they listen to popular music, so they're lame. They're
lame-os. They don't know about real music.
like me. They go to parties. They're not cool like me.
Yeah, of course they go to parties and drink. So I'm cooler because I'm better. Well, I'm cooler. I don't know why, but I'm cooler.
Yeah, he has an Xbox, so he is inferior to my PC.
Oh, I think that's the worst thing possible. Like, I think this is like outside the topic, but I just want to get it out there because I fucking hate it. When people are loyal to multi-billion companies, that's just fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why the fuck? Like, once you have like your PS4, yeah, sure, you already bought it. Be loyal, whatever.
Yeah.
But like when you're presented a choice and you choose the one that you're already accustomed to just because it's a thing that it's just the company, that's when you're starting to be a little brain dead, dude. Like, like what the fuck? Yeah, just weird. It's a whole other debate.
I think it's just like well, everybody will have the reasons, but if you like choose just because of the brand, I mean, like, come on, wake up. That's literally what they want you to be doing. They want you to just fall for the brand. Like, think of what's actually better and what you'll enjoy more.
And we're all victims of this too. I don't know what kind of phone do you have, just out of curiosity.
Android, superior to Apple.
Yeah, well, I have an iPhone, inferior to Android, and I have it not because of just brand loyalty, because I don't have it because that's fucking stupid. But I'm just accustomed to it, and it's a hand-me-down. Yeah. But people still, like, the only reason to buy Apple, like, purposely, is because you don't know, like, pure ignorance.
I mean, yeah, the thing about, like, I love how we've just completely went off.
Yeah, just derailed. That topic's over. New debate. Come on.
New debate. Come on. We keep them coming.
It's more important than race. Come on.
Yeah, definitely. Apple versus Android.
Yeah, come on.
It's just like, well, it's marketing at the end of the day. Like, Apple sells you that their product is better and that it looks better. Which, to be fair, I can say that it does look better than most.
Oh yeah, no, that's just objectively true. It looks way better than like an Android.
Yeah, like some of these things just they don't look very good.
Yeah, but like these are like slick. Like look at this. It's like, and this is the old one. It's like slick.
Yeah.
like the UI, the everything. But it looks over
Literally
function.
just marketing.
Looks over
It's
function.
marketing.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
but it ties down to our original point of people want to feel superior, but
Yeah.
belong to a group, and it goes back
Yeah.
to company loyalty. Like, I want to belong to this type of group. I want to belong to the Xbox dudes because I have an Xbox and always had an Xbox, so this is my new tribe. I'm with the Xbox tribe, even if it's objectively worse than anything other in the market. Fight me.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that was kind of my perspective a few years ago, and it's crazy how like you get absorbed in that type of thing. But now it's just more like I think that it also has an element of like nostalgia, and it's kind of like what you grow up with as well.
Yeah.
That kind of shapes you. Because it's like if you ask me what is technically better, I will definitely say PC. But if you ask me the best console of all time, I will say Wii because it just is.
Oh yeah, well that's just a fact. That's just like a straight up fact. You can just Google it and it's there. But
There,
yeah, well, myself, I think that doing some self-analyzing here, some psychoanalysis, I would say that this whole, you have to choose what's better for you, also comes from a place of not elitism, but trying to belong to a group, like the whole PC spectrum. I would say it's my tribe in some sort of way, because it's the one that gives you choices and stuff. But I also had my Wii, I have my Switch there. I had like a hand me down. Well, not hand me down, but like an Xbox 360, a PS4, and the PS2 of my dad. So I have the whole collection. But you can't do that with race. You can't be like, oh yeah, I've been all races, and I can say, and it would be cool though. Like
if you could just pick and choose.
No. Like, could you imagine like someone experiencing all races in an entire different contexts? So
imagine if you just like spend different chunks of your life as different races, and then like when you're like 30, you get to choose which race you stick with.
Yeah, like like after review, I would say that all races suck, and I want to be a frog.
Yeah, how about I just become a dog and I don't have to worry about anything?
Yeah, I would. That would be interesting. It sounds like a cool like story
Experiment.
Well, no experiment. Like, how the fuck do you even do that? Just like change the race of someone like every like 2 years. I would say that maybe a book about that with many different inputs of different races,
different authors. That would be cool.
Yeah. How do you even conclude that?
We know one author, Vicky.
Yeah,
if
hell
you
yeah.
don't know her, listen to the podcast.
Listen to the fucking podcast.
Come on,
That's
we're
why
trying
they're
to
here.
donate here. We can't donate $4. That's sad.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's even possible. Like, they don't accept.
Like, that's probably just the donation fee, like in itself.
Yeah. Like, as far as I know, we can donate to a Team Trees Steam on Twitch, and that's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, well,
So
we get a fee. Like, whenever we take money out of the account, like, we get a fee. So technically, we're not even $4 in. So
yeah, so become part of our tribe. Yeah,
become part of our tribe. Maybe we've branded tribes as a bad thing throughout this episode, but they aren't a bad thing. Like, you need people who understand you in a like different level than other people. Like, if you put let's stick to race, because I think we've done enough derailing for this episode. But if you put like a ginger person to speak about their problems with a black person, there's going to be like a certain understanding, because well, at least it should be, because just empathy should be a human trait that all healthy humans have. If not, you're a psychopath. Like, by definition, you're a psychopath. get help.
That seems like a threat.
It seems like a threat, but it isn't. It's not. It's just like by definition, you are a psychopath. So, chill, okay. So,
we don't want you in our group.
So yeah, they will understand each other.
Yeah.
But not to such a deep level than another person of the same race would.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and, I mean, that's kind of what we try to do as well. Like that's why constantly looking for people who are different to us, who think different to us, who have different life experiences, because otherwise it's just boring. Like you need to learn from people and hear from people and be able to empathize, learn, and compare different realities as well, because everybody goes through different things. That's the truth. So like no matter what group, it's just like there's gonna be something that everybody connects to a certain level with each other. But yeah, as you said, like it'll be easier to connect and understand people that are from the same group as you.
Yeah, I mean, and even with these talks, like trying to get people with different perspectives, at the end of the day, they're sort of in the same tribe as us. One, because they're official Creekcasts, just guests, so
yeah,
welcome to the tribe. But they also have this activist look. So maybe we should get people who are like not necessarily anti-activists.
Yeah, no, let's just bring on a neo-Nazi.
That would be actually pretty cool. Like have a neo-Nazi just speak. I think we get like cancelled all over the internet. Like I think we get like taken down from Spotify and just YouTube. Anchor gets us banned. But it would be a good talk. Like not saying that I would agree or but just trying to understand such a drastic perspective would be kind of cool. Like just like speak straight up.
Yeah, it would be interesting if we could achieve a deep conversation with them. If it's just like them like putting their thoughts and trying to like sell it, which a lot of people try to do, it wouldn't be that interesting. But if you can kind of get to the root of it and maybe have a conversation.
Yeah, an honest conversation.
Maybe you can just get each other to maybe understand each other a bit more and get to that midpoint that we're talking about, like of empathy and kind of understanding where everybody comes from.
Well, I mean, arguing like I don't think a neo-Nazi has empathy, like for starters.
Well, maybe yeah.
But I don't think there's a midpoint with those kinds of people. But there's definitely a conversation.
Yeah, and maybe it's not just like to that extreme, like a neo-Nazi. It's more just
I think we went too hard.
You bring on somebody that's more like from the right, and they have like a different worldview than the people we brought on. But
we tend to bristle on the same points and just like agree. We're like, we agree. Like it would be nice, like for someone to have like a completely different, like line of thought. Yeah. Like not necessarily. Oh yeah, black people suck. That's also going on my MIT resume.
The 3 fans that we have, just cut that clip up and start putting it all over.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. It feels nicer this way. I'm not doing it, so edit it on your mind, okay? You didn't hear that. Yeah. But you did because it's funny. So I'm just hilarious. So
yeah, genius of comedy.
Yeah, like peak comedy right there. So edit it on your mind. I didn't say that. You didn't know what I said. So
yeah, and I would like for the people who listen, which are like 10 people,
that's 10 people.
to engage more and like tell us, because I would like to bring on people with different perspectives. That's definitely something that I want to do, because that's the whole idea, to kind of have a wider worldview and understand different points. But it's also not necessarily easy to find people who, first of all, would look at our profile and maybe agree, and second of all, that like how many. I don't really know that many people who would fit that profile. I don't know if you do.
Yeah,
Apart
I
from
mean,
Ivan.
yeah. Apart from him, I think we have a generally really echo chamberish bubble. That's why we try to reach out to different perspectives, like through the internet. But actual people, I think we end up hitting the same notes. So we need to find more people like that. I don't think right now, like physically, it's not a thing. So I just can't go into. Well, I mean, I can, but I won't. I go to the street like, oh, who says like the fucking Peje is a good president, and there's surely like there's bound to be 3 or 2 idiots that agree. So maybe get them in the
that's
podcast.
definitely that's definitely how we're convincing people of coming on by calling them idiots.
I mean, they are, but that's the thing. That's the thing. They get riled up. They need hate. They're like, I'm gonna fucking defend myself. They're not like, oh, I'm gonna have a peaceful and thoughtful discussion with these two guys. No, they're like, I'm gonna fucking speak, and that's what you want to hear. You don't want to hear a good and just calm conversation. You want drama. Yeah, I know what you want. I know the algorithm. That's why we're doing the whole discussion thing to get people. Not I don't want to say mad, but yeah, we want to get people mad. Like when they see oh what did he say? And let's just be like, so yeah.
We definitely have different perspectives, you and me.
yeah. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So I mean, we've really just ranted on for like the last 10 minutes about the future of the podcast.
Yeah, well, it's a good insight of.
It's a good insight. Yeah, you
people.
guys, whoever listens and maybe watches, because YouTube is really just not getting views, but whoever does, you're with us. You listen to our conversation. You know what's happening with the podcast.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you're going to pick one to listen the episode to YouTube or Spotify, pick Spotify, okay? Because that's where we get money.
That's where we get the sponsor. But if you could get enough people to follow us on
all around
both of them,
yeah,
because at some point we might be able to get monetized on YouTube, but that takes a lot.
Yeah,
sure. So go ahead and promote us, please.
So yeah, I think that wraps up. Oh, we forgot to do the advert.
No, we did it at the beginning.
Not the ad, but the things that we say here aren't necessarily representative of what we actually think.
Yeah, that's kind of late in the podcast.
Yeah, well, whoever's listening to this, whoever wants to give us flack for what we're saying, we have this evidence. Yeah, we said it. We said it. It's not our fault you didn't hear the whole thing. So
whoever is an OG fan will be at this point.
Knows it. Like if you're a future feature, we're gonna ask you the 3 main questions to see if you know what they are. If you don't,
yeah, you're out. Cool.
Yeah,
skip them.
Yeah,
just cut the interview short.
That's your warning. Nah, I'm just saying. So yeah, quick, just like the official advert is, what we say here doesn't necessarily represent what we actually believe in. We're just arguing for the sake of discussion. I get new ideas with thought processes in general and add to the conversation. And don't.
Yeah, it's just a disclaimer. Like,
don't take it so hard.
Yeah, don't take it to heart. We're trying to maybe just explore different avenues of thoughts and perspectives on the world, because otherwise it's just us agreeing all the time.
And that's boring.
Yeah, because clearly you guys are bored because you click off, but yeah.
You click off, like, I don't know if anyone's actually listening right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I could say the dirtiest thing right now and no one except you will know.
Somebody may have just turned off in the intro music. Like, that's maybe we lost our whole audience there, and we're just
definitely not in the intro music. They love that shit. They love it. That ring. Perfect.
That's our gem.
Well, that's basically the podcast.
Yep.
That's the episode.
Episode 15.
Episode 15. Wow, it feels like an eternity.
Yeah,
when
we
last
are
filmed this one.
consistent, baby.
Yeah, we're consistent. Like, holy hell. We did like 7 podcasts last week, so this is the first podcast we do in a while.
Yeah,
like
that's
2
just
weeks.
us two.
Yeah, us two and just in general.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we usually stack them. We do like a week of 7 podcasts and then release them. And then take the weeks off. We should probably do that. Finals are coming up, so...
Yeah, maybe summer. Summer's a good idea to like do like 4 podcasts in a week, and then we have
take
like
the rest off, yeah.
Yeah, we can just leave it free. Because honestly, like exams are coming up and it's not great.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, fuck that noise. There's still weeks. Well, like a week.
There's a week.
But yeah, tomorrow it's a short day, and we don't have class
Yeah.
in Friday, so extra
Maybe.
short week.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's no class on Friday,
Yeah, I don't think there's.
and tomorrow's a short day because it's Mother's Day.
We're just discussing casual life now.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, fuck it.
End the podcast.
Just end it.
See you soon.
See you in the next. Bye.
Join our tribe and cult.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking sell merch like that. Join the cult. Get in the cult now.
Join the Creek cult. Oh, that's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, well, it's not that difficult to make merch. So let us know.
Let us know.
Let us
if you
know.
want merch.
Would you buy merch?
Would you? Because that would actually be great.
It would be really fucking cool.
Not because I actually want to make money off the merch or sell the merch.
No,
but I want an
yeah.
own T-shirt of the Creekcast.
Yeah, I think the merch is not for us.
Yeah. No.
Just like costs and stuff. So, well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. So yeah, keep your eye up for that, for the Quickcast
Follow us on
shirts. and
Instagram,
shit. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube,
on Twitter, on Reddit.
on Spotify, on Facebook. Do all of that, all the good shit. If you haven't logged off for us, just like talking, yeah, whatever. That's it. Episode 15. That's a Quickcast. Thanks for
Complete
listening.
race. Let's go.
See you next week. Bye.
Peace.